Hi everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today I'm going to do a box or a tin. And actually what I did was I recently got on Amazon, and I was looking for some different kind of styled tins because I really love making the note card tins, whether they be prayer boxes or just note card boxes, whatever. And I've got a whole bunch of those started, not finished, but just about finished. So I wanted to make some different styles. And so I did find some boxes and actually tins, and I ordered them and got them the other day. So the ones that I got, the first ones I'll show you, which is what we're going to do today, were these. Isn't that cute? And they're about 6 inches across, I'm going to say. Let's see. They are 6 3/4 inches long. And so I was looking for something that was longer because I have a lot of these decals like this one that are long and narrow, and I wanted to be able to use them on something without having to cut them up because they don't fit on anything. So I thought, okay, you know, if I get that size, these will fit. And so I got them in, and of course the first thing I did was to put one of my decals on this one, and it looks gorgeous. And then I decided, okay, I want to do a video, but I want to do one where I paint the top white and leave the bottom pink, because I like that look. That's my favorite right there. So this is the plain one. This is how they come, nice and shiny and beautiful. So you don't have to really do anything with them except embellish them if you want. So I just thought those were really pretty. And then another thing I wanted was to try and find some that were a little bit deeper. And with these, I can make a note box, a note card box. It'll be fairly kind of small note cards, but it's deeper. So you can see this one is actually an inch, it's an 1.25 inches deep, whereas most of them are, you know, just maybe that deep from the bottom to about there. So, and I thought these were kind of cool because they've got this cool gold look to them. Now, you know me, I will paint, and I'm thinking I might do one just in the gold too, just to see how it turns out. I can make something pretty, really pretty with this gold. So, so I will leave at least one in the gold. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. But in the one that we're going to do today, I need your help, you guys, because this is actually going to be a pen box. Okay? So what I'm going to be doing, I have my embellishments on the inside here. I don't think I'm going to do rhinestones around the outside of this. I just don't feel like I want to. I feel like I want to leave it the way it is and leave it a little more simple and put my embellishments on the top, and, you know, that will be it. But I do obviously already have it spray painted because I have to get the paint to dry before I can do anything with them. And then these are two of the pens that Jeff has made. And he's hand-turned these. This one is resin, and it's a multicolored resin. We buy the blanks. He doesn't make his own blanks. We buy them, and then he turns them, and he buys these beautiful, beautiful pen kits. And I don't know if you guys can see this really well, but this one is so gorgeous. It's like multicolored. See how it sort of changes colors in the light? I just don't see how well you guys can see this, though. That's kind of a bummer. Let me come in closer to it, and maybe you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see it better that way. So see how the colors change on the metal? So I think these are gorgeous, and it has a really gorgeous, well, I can back you off a little bit now. So it has a really gorgeous pattern here on the middle band. And it's just a fairly simple top, but it's really, really pretty, and I love it. And this one is similar, but this has gold and silver hardware on it. And this one actually is coffee beans. And these are real coffee beans, you guys, that are mixed in with the resin. And then you turn them, and then of course you coat them on the outside. Now when he first turned this, you could smell the coffee bean like crazy. It was so wonderful. Oh, it was so wonderful. Now it has a little bit of a scent of that, but not much left, because he did this actually a couple months ago. So anyway, so I do sell these pens in our store. But I have this one and I have this one in my shop. I'm going to deactivate those listings, or at least one of them, I should say. And I'm going to put one of them inside this box and sell this together. I don't have, you know, any special padding or anything that goes in here, although I'm going to see if I can't find any kind of foam or something that I can lay on the inside. I just don't know if I have anything. If not, I will fill it with something so that the pen is protected in shipping and all of that good stuff. And I will wrap the pen. I always wrap all my pens when I ship them. So, but I'm trying to decide which one of these pens do I want to put in. Now this one is the obvious choice because it's got, you know, the pretty colors, the multi-colors, and it looks pretty with, you know, the stuff that we're going to embellish it with, because it's got kind of the pinky purples and stuff in it. But then this one is kind of cool because who doesn't like coffee? And this one really will go with anything. So I'm trying to decide, you guys, which one of these pens do I want to put in this box when I get it done. So please make a comment down below. Help me decide which one to use, you guys, because I'm really having a hard time deciding which one I want to put in there. So I'd love your help if you have a second to just make a quick comment. I would greatly appreciate it. And that will help me to decide how to list this box. So anyway, that's it with the pens. I'm going to put those aside in a little bag here so they don't get hurt. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to embellish this one. I have the stuff to embellish this one a little bit too. I don't know if we'll get to it or not, but we might. And this one actually is going to go super, super quick as well. There's not much going into this. I don't want to over embellish. And this is this is like a tattoo, and it says "Love Conquers All." And what I want to do is I want to kind of put that sort of centered, but not quite. It's going to be kind of off to the left because I want it to be away from the flowers. So the flower's going to go off in one corner. This is going to go here. And then we have our little bumblebee that's going to go somewhere on there. So I may see if I can find another flower or something that I can pop on the other side, just like a little single flower, if I have any here that I can make that will go with this. So in fact, I think I do. Hold on. Okay, I have this one here, and it's not exactly the same as this flower, but it's in the same color family. So I could take this, and this is one that I sort of cut apart from another, from a fuller decal, and I used the other part, but I didn't use this part, and I want to make sure I don't get any of the little bits and pieces from the other decal in here either. So gotta cut some of those little bits out. Okay, so I like this one. I like this one a lot. And then I've also got these, which are kind of in the same color family, but not quite there. So I don't know, but it might be okay to use one just off to the side like that. So we'll wait and see when we get this kind of together how that's going to work. Okay, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I had to go get a wet paper towel so that I can do this rub-on decal. So I just want to make sure I put this one on exactly the right way. And I think maybe what I'll do is I'll put this on first, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do the rest of this. So let's go ahead, and this is all nice and clean. Make sure you put these decals on a clean, dry surface. And I cut this very close to the edges of the leaves and stuff because I didn't want to have a lot of extra of the clear part of the decal because it's very sticky and I don't want to pull the paint up off of this tin. So I'm trying to be very, very careful here not to get any real extra amounts of that plastic on there. So I'm even going to hold this up in this section where I got my piece to hold on to, because you got to have something to hold on to when you put these decals on to be able to pull from. So I'm just going to rub this on. I don't have my little plastic rub-on thing, and I don't think I'm going to need it. It should stick pretty easily. Usually just rubbing them with your fingers is usually good enough. So, oh look, and it's pulling up nicely. That's awesome. This piece over here is staying down because I cut it in. So I'm just going to grab it with my nail here. I have another box here too. I have to remember to show that to you. It is a box that I bought these nails in, and I loved the box so much. It's a plastic box, but I love it because it's got sections just like those other little ones. See, I pulled that up a little bit. Doggone. And that's because I cut it in for the leaves and stuff, not to have a lot of plastic around them. Come on. Sometimes you just have to put your fingernail or your finger over it so that the decal part stays down, because it wants to come up with the tape. And when you've got it cut like this, it does make it a little bit harder to pull it up without tearing it into a separate piece. Plus, for me, I've got these doggone nails and they make everything harder. Okay, I got this. I'll just have a little point right there that needs to come up. So it's going to make me work for it. And I got it. Okay. Try and get this piece. There we go. I want to try and get all the way down here and then pull back this way to get this section here. There we go. Woohoo! Okay, and when you're pulling down like this way on these leaves that are pointing, because the thinner parts of the decal are always the hardest to get to stay down, but when you pull in the direction that the leaves are going, you will always be able to pull it off and not have any trouble. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? I love that decal. I love it. I want to buy another set of these decals. There's a bunch of different types of flowers. There's roses and peony and all kinds of different flowers in them, and they're just so gorgeous. Okay, so this goes like this. See, I had to look at it again. And I'm going to get this close to these flowers. And right about there. And so the lettering is right there. Okay, I've got my wet paper towel. And you got to get that real good and wet. And you guys will be able to see this start to show through. Can't really show you ahead of time because the lettering's all backwards and everything. It's because it's mirrored images. And so it's kind of hard to see even what it says. You can't tell what it says until you get it on the spot that you're leaving it in. You got to make sure that water gets all the way through and you press it good and hard. And the best way to do it is to slide. Oh my word. Darn, you know what I did, you guys? I left the plastic piece on, so I just ruined this. Oh my, hold on just a minute. Okay, you guys, I didn't think I had another of that same decal, and I have one left, so yay. I was going to be very sad if I didn't have another of that same decal. Now, we're going to make sure with these rub-on tattoo decals, these are basically tattoos, you have to take the plastic off the top before you set it onto whatever you're putting it on. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. And that's not the first time I've done that. I've done that a few times now, and it just upsets me. Okay, we're going to put it right there. Now we'll get our whip. That's why it didn't slide right off the first time I was kind of pulling it, because usually these come off like super quick, super easy. So just press it down. This time it's going to be perfect-ish. Okay, and now we just slide the piece of paper off. There we go. And now I'll just take my paper towel and wipe like that. And isn't that gorgeous? Love conquers all. I love it. I love that. I love these rub-on tattoos. I'm going to buy some more of them. You guys know how much I love my inspirations and all of that stuff. And these are, there's several different sets of them, and oh my goodness, they say the most wonderful things, and they make me happy. And so I'm going to get some more. They're so easy to work with, unless you leave the plastic on and ruin them. But outside of that, they're super easy to work with. And we are going to use this flower for this side, so we're just going to put it right off into this corner here, just like that, and hope that it comes off as nicely as this one did. And really the only other thing we're going to put on this one is the bumblebee. And there we go. Look how nicely, oh my goodness, that one came off perfectly without a hitch. Yay. Look at, isn't it gorgeous? And then it looks a little, kind of weird. But once we add our sweet little bumblebee, look at that. Is that not gorgeous, you guys? I love it. Now, I could add, let's go ahead and give it a shot, because I haven't even tried. I haven't even looked at it with rhinestones around it. I mean, yes, it is beautiful. Oh my word. Well, one thing I do need to do though, for sure, for certain and for sure, is to add some resin to the top, because we want these to be on there nicely, and I want to do that before I put anything else on. So I am going to add a nice layer of resin across the top here. And hopefully we will get all of the bubbles out before we put it under the light. We can't overdo the resin. Don't overdo your resin, guys. And I'm going to try and get this. This is going to be hard because the edges of this tin kind of are rounded. So that's why I don't want to use too much resin on the top of this, because then I'll end up with runoff. And that's exactly the thing I want to avoid. I'm going to go across the top, the very top first, and just kind of kiss the edges of the before it starts to round. I'm just going to kind of kiss those edges a little bit and just gently swipe a gentle coat around the outside edge. We want to do this quickly, you guys. Don't waste a lot of time. I'm not going to even go down around the sides with this. I just want the top edges. So I'm hoping I can do that without getting any runs going down the sides. That's my goal. And I want a nice even coat, so I'm kind of checking this out, trying to make sure I can see that it's nice and even. I got a late start today, you guys. I'm not working today, but you guys, I just have to get my motivation in gear here and do a little bit better at... I've got so many great projects lined up, you guys. I mean, so many great projects. And I want to get them done, and I can't wait to show you. And then I get up and I get started, and I think, okay, today's the day. And then somehow my tire gets deflated, and or something goes wrong, and I just tell myself, oh, maybe today's not the day. And I gotta stop doing that. That's not okay. And I'm not feeling sorry for myself, you guys. So don't think that. Don't think that I'm real worried about all the stuff going on. I'm not letting that get to me. I'm just a little unmotivated, that's all. And that may be due partially to some of the stuff going on, but for the most part, I don't think so. I think I'm just having one of those periods, you know, where you just kind of go through those times where you just can't get yourself going. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. I'm going to let it go for 5 minutes. Guys, I'll be right back. Okay, so we got this all resined over the top. You can see the shine is beautiful. Look at that beauty. And what I did was I went ahead, I put another layer of resin just because I could see in a couple of spots there were kind of a little bit of lumpiness where the decal didn't get covered enough. And then in doing so, I kind of did go around the edges just a little bit. But it looks absolutely stunning and gorgeous. And I think we're going to go ahead, because why not? You know me and my rhinestones. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Should I do it, you guys, or should I leave it alone? Oh my goodness, you can't tell me. I do love it with that. The only thing is, with putting rhinestones on these, sometimes, well, this one's not too bad. It opens real easily, so it shouldn't be too bad. And as long as I get those rhinestones on there good, we are good to go. It is beautiful. If I surround it, I think Ay, 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 you guys, I think I'm gonna go for it. Yes, I am. But let's see how easy this is gonna be to get going around there the right way and where it's gonna stick at. So it's gonna go right up to the edge where it starts to straighten out on the sides, which is a good thing because then it will stay straight. I'm just setting it so that all of the rhinestones are pointing straight down. That's a must. You want those rhinestones to be straight down, and you want to do that while you're getting it set up too, because it takes more rhinestones when they're pointing down than it does when they're pointing out. So you just need to know that you have to do it the same way you're going to orient them on the box, because that's going to tell you exactly how many rhinestones you're going to need going around this thing. And if you have any spots where you see it's kind of flipping up or whatever, this spot right here, I don't like it. I feel like these two, look at, they're kind of off kilter. So we're going to cut that, because that's going to be a problem down the line for sure. There's no doubt about it. So we'll just take that piece off there, and we can use that somewhere else. There we go. Now they're sitting pretty. And generally what I will do, usually, just in case my eyeball doesn't catch something, is I will add a rhinestone or two at the end, just in case, and I can always cut it off if it's too many. Because these are not the kind of rhinestones that pull apart on the chain. They are very close together, and we're just going to go one rhinestone too many here, and that should be just fine. These are 4mm AB rhinestones. And you can find them on Amazon. I will put the link to these rhinestones in my description menu, so that you guys know you can click on that link and go right to them. I have got to get myself an affiliate account with Amazon, because I know I'm sending a lot of business their way and I'm not getting any credit for it. Okay, so we've got our B7000, and what I'm intending on doing with this is I'm going to put it on with this B7000, and then at the end, once I get it all done, I am going to go around it and I am going to put small amounts of resin around the chain to make sure it's on there really well. And that way I know with the adhesive and the resin, we're not going to have any trouble with this chain coming off. And if any one of you was to purchase this, this is not going to be cheap, you guys, with that pen in it. And if it doesn't go with the pen, then I will break the set down and I will change it to just a box and just a pen, if that's the case, because these pens are not cheap. I sell them generally between, depending on the pens, between 65 down to maybe 40 sometimes. It just depends on the pen and the kits that we have to buy, because some of the kits for those pens and the rhinestone, the resin blanks are not cheap. They run anywhere from sometimes $4 for an inexpensive one on up to $15 for a really nice pen blank. So it just depends on what Jeff purchases. And then the kits that we get for the hardware are sometimes very expensive as well. Those usually run between $8 and $15 a set. So that's why the pens are so expensive, you guys. Not to mention, Jeff does put a lot of hard work into turning them on his lathe and really making them look beautiful. Because he really does. He does a nice or very nice job on his lathe. He's very good at it. And he loves doing it. It's his, I think one of his favorite hobbies really is turning things on his lathe. Okay, and I can cut off this last rhinestone here. If I can make sure it's in the right spot there. Okay, there we go. And we'll just press it up there, make sure it's all facing the right direction and in the right spot. And I'm just kind of lifting it up just a tad to make sure it's up on the side of that lid and not just sitting on the rounded part, because the side is where I added the adhesive. And I'm just kind of putting my nail under there and pressing them up a little bit if they look like they're sitting down too low. And then straightening them out. So now what I'm going to have to do is I am going to have to let these sit for a few minutes just to let that adhesive start to take hold and harden a bit. 10 or 15 minutes is about what I usually give it. And then I can finish working on my project, and then of course I let it cure overnight before I do much with it. You know, as far as trying to open the tin and all of that. See, I can see where, like right here, it's kind of on the rounded part, so we're going to pull that up. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift it up this way. And this way I can really see where the rhinestones are. But see, I got these started twisting the wrong way, and now I'm making it harder on myself. But it was starting to do that sitting down on the mat, so I really needed to hold on to it, get a hold of these things, and get them in the right direction now while I still can. And just pushing them kind of up towards me a little bit more. This side took hold real nice. It's on there good. Maybe I should have left that extra rhinestone on there, because I feel like maybe I might end up needing it. I hate when this happens, when I have to keep going back and around, but it's worth it. It's worth the extra time to get everything just right. It's just harder for me right now to grab hold of them real well. Okay, now I can see the sides real well and just kind of pop it straight around, get it all straight and in line with itself. And then when I'm looking at it from the top, I can really kind of see, and I can actually work with it better this way. I can see where they're sitting and where I need to maybe push them to. And actually the ones that I thought were up a little too high really weren't to begin with. So I'm just putting them back in place. This is gorgeous, you guys. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I don't need that other rhinestone, so we're good there. And then the way that I'm going to do this, as far as the resin, I'm going to do it from the back side. And I am going to do such a small amount. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in one of my little cups here. And take one of my very thin, narrow paint brushes. I'll just use, this one's not super thin, but it's perfect. This one will work great. And that's how I'm just gonna brush the resin on so that it's a thin coat. And it doesn't go pouring through the rhinestones. So let's just do this. We'll put some resin in our cup, just a little bit. We don't need a lot. Take our brush and just kind of go along here. Go along the edge of the lid. And later if I need to, you know, clean it up by adding some more resin around the edge so that it's consistent all around it. You know, if I don't see, you know, spots where I didn't get it or whatever, then I can go back and clean that up. That's not going to be a problem. I'll just use a paintbrush and I'll just paint it around until I get a nice even coat of resin all the way around, and it looks nice. But I need to do this carefully as well, what I'm doing right now, so that I don't resin the lid shut. So I don't want to miss and get my brush up under that lip. So I'm being very careful and watching where my resin's going to not get that lid stuck. That would be tragic, because then I would, I'm sure, ruin something, and then it would become my tin. So, but obviously you guys will know if that happens before the end of this video, because you'll see it happen in real time. Although I don't know, I know I'm not hitting that lip though, you guys. I can see exactly where I'm at, and there's plenty of space here. So I know I'm not going to stick it together. I'm just getting that nice even coat of resin all the way around. Sometimes I would wait until my B7000 was completely set and all of that, but I've done it this way before and it works just fine. The adhesive doesn't cause it to not cure. And since I started somewhere sort of in the middle here, I'm just going to go around the entire edge of that front side there. And then I will put it back up under my light for another 5 minutes. And I will be right back. Okay, so it came out beautifully. Look at that. Nice and sturdy and strong. Gorgeous. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited about this one. It is beautiful. I could have made this more of like a note 10. I could have, and I may end up doing that in the end, but I really thought this would be great for one of the pens, and it still would be, even if it was turned into a note 10. I could put a few of my maybe longer, narrower note cards in here. I don't know. We'll see. I may do that. But I have these little nail decals. And I thought maybe, and they have hearts in some of them, so I thought maybe I might put a couple of these in here with these flowers to have these hearts. If I can get them to come up right, like this one did. Yay. And I wished I'd done this before I resined, but I didn't think about it. Because I don't plan on putting another layer of resin over this. I'm just going to put these on here and leave them the way they are. Okay. And I'm sorry if you guys hear noise. The kids just got out of school and they walk right by our house, the junior high kids. And they're not quiet. And they're not nice. I'm telling you guys, they're not nice. I wonder if I put this coming from right there. There we go. That looks pretty. Initially, I was thinking I wanted to put these like off of the letters here. And I still feel like I want to do that in a couple of spots here. I love these decals. They are so cool. These are Temu decals. And these are some that Robin sent me a while back, and I still have them. And they're just so pretty. I just love them. I haven't bought from Temu in quite some time because I've just been afraid that I won't get my stuff, and I don't have a lot of money, extra money to spend to buy a bunch of stuff, so I've just kind of left it alone. I wonder if maybe I put this one right there. Okay. And then, let's see, this one's got a heart in it, and I want to put something over with these flowers here. So I think I'd like to have this coming from right there. Okay. Pretty. And there's not many more with the hearts in them. Got this one. There's some little hearts here just kind of by themselves. Maybe if we stick a couple of those on there just in a couple of little spots. You know, just to have a couple of hearts in there. I like them. I think they're very pretty. And then this one. Let's see, I think over on the side of this one, I want to put something in there. Let's see, that one will fit. And then maybe one kind of over in here. This one's pretty. And this one. And this one's going to come down here. Okay. And we still have a couple more tiny hearts, so I'd like to put a couple of them about. Oh. Uh-oh. Where did it go? These little tiny hearts are a little bit hard for me to work with here. And I keep flipping them upside down. Come on, that's a perfect spot for you. Put a flower with that one. Okay. Let's see. I feel like maybe that's it. No, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to put any more on there. I had these little flowers too, but I only wanted to really use the heart ones. So we're going to leave it just at that. And that looks very, very cute with those little tiny hearts and flowers on it. Just kind of a little addition to the party. And now we have our bumblebee, and I forgot about him going on there and possibly covering some of them up, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about that. She is going right there some way. I just need to figure out which way I want her to go. But I definitely want her somewhere in the middle here. Or she could go with those flowers over there. Just to kind of be off to the side. But we just have this one little spot right here where I feel might be perfect for her. Right there. I think that's a good spot for her. So that's where we're going to go ahead and put her down. I'm going to add some B7000 right there. And a little dot of hot glue. Let's see, she's going to go right there. So we'll put a little dot of hot glue right there. So that she'll be stuck down for now. I just had a horrible thought, and I thought, what if I did this all upside down? I don't think I ever checked to see what direction I was going in. Oh my word, I would have been so upset. But it wouldn't be the first time that that would have happened. So I feel happy now, though, because it didn't. And I'm just going to drop some resin in a few little open spaces here. I don't want big visual drops of resin on this. Let's see, we'll take our little brush here that we used, and I'm gonna just kind of take that because it did pull it out a little bit. Over here looks perfect. And I'm gonna take this little paper towel and I'm going to wipe that spot clean. Okay. All right, I'm going to pop her back up under the light for just a few minutes. And this is the other box that I was telling you guys. This is what my nails came in. This one, it just is different to open, so I don't know. It's not one that I am super confident about. It's a nice sturdy box, for sure. It just has these words on it, which will get covered up with the decal, and that fits there almost perfectly. And then I wanted to put this butterfly on there because it's so pretty. I got this butterfly from my friend Cecilia. And so, yeah. And then this one, these just open this way. And this one I've got a pretty decal. And I think I'm going to put that sort of like that. And the rub-on says embrace the journey ahead, and I want to put that over here. So I thought that would be pretty. And what I might do is maybe just kind of put it kind of off kilter like that. So I think I'm going to go ahead, and while we're waiting for the other one to finish, because I do know for certain and for sure that I want this decal on there, and I sat it down before I intended to, and that's just where it's got to go now, which thankfully it ended up in just the exact right spot. Thank goodness. I would have been so upset with myself if it had landed in a weird spot. Let's see if we can get this leaf to stay down. There we go. Look at that. Woohoo! Okay, that was super easy. And this one, we're going to take our little plastic piece off and make sure we've got it going in the right direction. And I'm going to put that right like that. And I have my little wet paper towel. The water started to soak up into the paper towel, so I want to make sure I get this decently wet, because it's not like super soaked on the paper towel. And we'll start sliding, and yes, it's stuck. Look, oh no! Where was that? That was right. There. Okay. Let's pray, you guys, that that stays. It didn't stay real great. That's a bummer. That's okay. We will just improvise on making that look okay there. And one way we can do that is to maybe put one of these little flowers. We'll go like that, and we'll be all right. And that just comes because I didn't have a super wet paper towel. I should have known better. But I thought, yeah, I'd done it before, and it worked out okay. So I thought it would this time too, but oh well. And we'll just go right there. And that looks all right. I think that looks okay. Here we go. So that's all set and ready to rock and roll. Just that one little flower is all we needed. Okay. And then if this, once I get this all ready to go, I'll probably put it, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'll put it in the flowers, or I'd kind of like it. I should have moved that up just a tad, but I can still put this over here, and you can still read what it says, like that. So that's probably about how that one's gonna go. And there we go. We are all done with this one. And this is another one I'm gonna do. And there we go. There we have it, you guys. That's our video for today. And please, please, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a comment. And let me know what you guys thought or think of these little tins. I think they're awesome. And then also, what do you think about the pens? The multicolored one or the coffee one? And should I even use the pens, or should I do something different with it? You guys let me know, okay? So anyway, that's it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. And please stay safe, stay well. You know, be safe out there, you guys. The world's a crazy place right now, and we all need to take care of ourselves and be safe. And love your family. Hug them, squeeze them, tell them you love them all the time, because you just never know these days, guys. So be safe out there, okay? Love yourselves and take care of yourself first, okay? God bless each and every one of you, and I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned for pictures. Bye-bye.